Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States. How are we doing today? I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you're fantastic as well. I really do. Today is Friday. In my part of the world, it's also Friday, I assume, when you're watching this. Some may watch it later. But as of this recording, it's Friday. It's about 5 a.m. here on the West Coast of the United States. Today, another edition of What's in the News, UK edition, where we get to look at different newspapers and news sites that you all have. And today, we look at Mark Masterson, The Independent. Yes, I've always wanted to say that if you are a Ted Lasso fan, but Trent Grimm, The Independent. I can't believe I haven't done this one yet, but yes, The Independent. We're going to take a look at the newspaper. And what is this? We have some new people joining our channel family. Welcome. If you're wondering what this is all about, this is where I get to kind of look at your wacky world of news and media, and we kind of just go through basically the website. And I like to, of course, see the headlines and see what's going on. We kind of stay away from the nasty stuff. Don't want any really. We all have our opinions and all that stuff about certain things, and there's some really terrible things that happen all over the world. I kind of don't really want to get into those, but other things that are important to your country and to your part of the world, we like to delve into a little bit, and you can explain. This is where I get to learn a little bit more. Obviously, this is not going to be in real time. It'll be through the comments, which is 90% of where I learn most of everything. Yeah, I'll learn from a video, but the comments and emails that you all provide to add context and other information is just priceless. And that's where I get most of my learning from. But I also like to see how the page is laid out, which is interesting. I know we have our news sites here that I'm accustomed to, and so that's my kind of frame of reference. I don't go on those news sites as much as I used to because a lot of it, just the media in general, is just in a weird space right now. We'll just say that. But no matter what your feelings are about the news and there's going to be differences of opinions about this particular, The Independent, and I want to hear those. Yeah, if you think they're garbage, let me know. If you love them and you read it all the time, I'd like to hear that too as well. I'm very open-minded when it comes to this sort of thing. At least I like to consider myself open-minded. Sure, I have my own beliefs and my own leanings, and a lot of you probably can maybe decipher those, and that's fine, but it does not change the whole, I'm still going to be open-minded. I love all people. I don't care who you vote for or what you believe. If you're a good human, you're a good human, and that's all I care about, really, in the grand scheme of things. So we're going to go ahead and let's bounce out. What else is going on? I forgot to mention in a video ago, it might have been the last video you saw, or one before that, you saw my son walk in. Yeah, he was coming in the morning because we do these videos in the morning. He has his driver's license now, so he can drive. And I forgot to mention that when he came home, but yeah, it's been a blessing that Mom and I don't have to take him everywhere, but we worry. He's still brand new, and of course, we have everything, his phone, his car, everything is GPSed, so we can see and where he is, how fast he's going, if he has to, brake really hard. Technology is pretty crazy. So we monitor him pretty closely when he's out and about. And we can, there's no way that there's any doubt of where he is and what he's doing. Now, I was denied putting a camera in the car that was shot down, so we're just going to have to assume he's paying attention to the road and not blaring his music and so on and so forth. But he's a good kid, and we trust him. Obviously, he's a really good driver, but we still worry, being his parents and all. But what I was going to say is that, the negative, positive, don't have to take them, but negative, we do worry. And I miss kind of taking him to school. I used to take him to school every day, and it was kind of a time for him and I to actually get to talk for a little bit. And now that's no more, so I'm a little bummed out about that as well. But on to bigger and better things, right? So let's jump out, and there we are. I need my glasses for this, so you all have to let me know what your thoughts on the Independent are. It's going to be probably a lot like all the others, I'm assuming, but it's just interesting for me to see how the layout is, if it's easy to read. I noticed they're really heavy on the ads here already. This looks like the University of Indiana. So it obviously knows where I'm in the States, so it's probably going to give me local or ads that would pertain to me, I guess. Looks like the University of Indiana, I'm assuming. Maybe that's somewhere where you're at. Nope, Indiana University. There we go. Yep. UK politics. So they start off with a big headline, UK politics, kind of like a newspaper. Boris Johnson blamed for, I don't know how to pronounce that, Chagos Islands return as future of Falklands questioned. Argentina vows to take concrete action on the Falklands next following the Chagos Island deal. Oh, wow, that's... Okay, I've never heard of these islands. Were they once British and now they've been returned to Argentina? I'm going to have to get into this a little bit. It has deflected blame over the UK's return of the Chagos Islands to Mauritius, accusing Boris Johnson of initiating the deal while he was Foreign Secretary. The row erupted after Starmer's government announced the handover in exchange for a 99-year lease on a key military base. So then now Argentina's popping off, going, hey, we want the Falklands back? No way, brother. No way. I'll be interested to hear what you all have to have your thoughts on that. I'm going to have to go back and read this. We're not going to sit and read the article together, but interesting. This is going to be, it'll be interesting reading the comments for sure. They start off with a big major headline. Boom. Here you go. Again, heavy with these ads still. Man, they must have paid a lot of money for that. Diego Garcia blamed. Game deepens as Liz Truss hits out at Boris Johnson. Okay, same. Kind of another story on the same story. These are all probably relating to what we just read. Key points, Diego Garcia. Now, I know the U.S. has a secret military base, along with partnered with you all, I believe, on here. A lot of hanky-panky, I believe, goes on there, from what I understand. Argentina, it will take full sovereignty of Falklands after. No, I don't think so. That's going to be something to keep an eye on for sure. UK envoy rejects Hui claims of Chinese base. China. Bastards. Country should hold a vote. Yes. 22 billion for carbon capture. Wow. So these are all just related. So the key point. I like this. I like how they do that. Yeah, as you know, some of the others are just just little. I think one of them just had video links. So you click on it and go to a video, and maybe they're with a little write up on it. And this, I like how they give you key points, so on. Cool. Tory leader bids fail to inspire as poll shows support for Starmer. This is from 5 hours ago. What polls are we? Are these just a poll of how he's doing on his job, how he's performing? His government over gifts and blanket coverage of the Tory leadership. So he is Labor. Starmer is Labor. The Sunak was Tory, right? Has revealed that Labor's, and I'm sure this is already people starting to comment. Thank you, even though I haven't even posted this yet, but maybe it was for some other video. Latest weekly tracker poll has revealed that Labor's share of the vote dropped just 1 point to 31%, while the Tories gained 1. Interesting. It was such a widespread, it was kind of an overwhelming win for Labor, right? And Tories have been in there for a long time. And it hasn't even been that long since they've been in office, right? It's only been several months. Tories gained 1 to 23%. So, yeah, interesting. Tory leader candidates fail to inspire. New poll shows Starmer supports hold firm. So I'm not really understanding, without having to get into this, Tory leader candidates. Is there... How many... This is a dumb question, and I should know this. But what is this pertaining to? I mean, you're not having another election here, are you? Or are these for like the other offices and other spots that there's... Yeah, I am confused here. Now that Starmer has won prime minister, how long does he stay in office? And I should know this. I thought it was 4 years, like us. I don't know. I'm really confused by this, so I'm going to have to go back and read it. A week of coverage of the Tory leadership contest and more questions over free gifts have only made a small dent in Labor's continued poll lead. What poll are we talking about? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to jump out of it here. I'm so sorry that I'm a knucklehead. Why am I not understanding this? Another week, the latest UK tracker poll. Okay. Oh, gosh dang. Okay. Now, see, all it took was me clicking on the link. It suggests that the 4 conservative leadership candidates hoping to replace Sunak, who made their pitches over 4 days in Birmingham, failed to inspire. What is... Wait a minute. 7 hours ago. This is like it's talking about... Okay. I'm more confused. So just... do we have a date on here? Am I reading something from a while ago? Am I just crazy? Why am I not understanding this? Let's go back. Let's get out of this, because that's just going to just confuse me even more. Okay, so we jump from... I'm sorry. Oh, new ad. Okay, good, good. Big headline. A lot of other stuff that relates to it, which I like. So we're on to something else, finally. All right. High flying women suffer from same workplace problems. 30 years on gender equality. Okay. Yeah, that's always a topic here as well. Higher salaries, that sort of thing. Bill Burr, he's a comedian. He has a pretty funny skit on the whole thing, on why men, and this is just a joke, why men get paid more than women. And it is in case of a Titanic situation, for some reason, women and children get on the boats, and men have to stay behind. I thought that was hilarious. Of course, he does it way better than me, but he says it's like $1 an hour surcharge. If an intruder comes into the house, it's the man who has to get up and go see who it is, see what's going on. If there's a noise, that sort of thing. Who do they let out? What was it? Who do they let go first in a hostage situation? The women and children. So it's funny. It's funny. But yeah, it is a deal for the women who are fighting that. So again, open mind. I totally get it. Totally get it. Can Starmer convince the public that carbon capture will deliver? Now, I've heard a little bit about this. It all has to do with the green future, trying to get away from oil. And I don't know about you, but here in the States, I'm all for alternative ways of energy. All for it. But I'm not for it at the expense of just eliminating oil and gas. I think we should develop, I don't think they are developed enough to where they can be sustainable to support the economy. Because if we just cut out oil and gas and just go to wind, solar, electric, yada, 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 which electric is always funny to me because to produce electricity, you need coal and, so on and so forth. And of course, there's the batteries and all the rare earth minerals that the batteries take, which China basically corners the market on. Don't get me started. But just eliminating would just oil and gas would collapse our economy. Would collapse, and people would. I mean, it would be catastrophic. But yet, some of our politicians are so gung ho and so narrow minded, focusing on that you shouldn't be putting an end date on saying, like here in California, they're mandating that we have to have an electric vehicle. We can no longer use our combustion engine vehicle. Like 2034, 5, 6, whatever it is. That's not happening. Electric vehicles are so expensive. Well, all cars are real expensive at the moment, but still, to have to go buy an electric vehicle, they don't even have enough charging places for right now. There may be enough in your little part of the world here in California, but imagine everyone having an electric vehicle. Where are you going to charge? You'd be waiting. It'd be like the 1970s during that gas shortage, and the lines out the gas station are just miles long waiting. That's how it would be at these charging stations, and some are even like that currently. It's just ridiculous. Like I said, I am all for alternate forms of energy, and should definitely be trying to manufacture and innovate and make something that could be sustainable right now. No point in just eliminating. And we have so much oil here in the States that, we shouldn't even have to be buying it from Venezuela. So stupid. And their oil's more like mud. It's terrible. Let's see here. Of course, the climate scientists are going to weigh in. Yes. And yeah, all of that should be considered. And but we shouldn't just make it a one or the other type of thing. And that's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. Let's see here. Went looking for fights as a young football hooligan. Not really. I don't know who this former chancellor admits football hooligan in the past. Former chancellor. I don't know who this is. Who served? Okay, he's a 57-year-old who served under Boris Johnson. Okay. Well, I would imagine this is. I can't imagine this is like shocking. That was the hooliganism thing was an issue, right? Back in the day. There's probably a lot of people, and people grow up and they get into the real world. You know, see it all the time. More on politics. Wow, it's very politic heavy here. More on the Falklands, and yeah, this has got to be a kind of a big story for you all. Yes. Here's a video we could listen to. Let's see what he has to say.
As a government of change, we are now going to bring forward principles for donations because until now, politicians have used their best individual judgment on a case-by-case basis. I think we need some principles of general application. So I took the decision that until the principles are in place, it was right for me to make those repayments. Thank you.
I'm guessing he's talking about the gifts, maybe. Somehow people are accusing him of accepting gifts or something like that. More on the island. Yeah, this must be a big story. Is this the only thing we're talking about here? More on the carbon capture. Be interesting to see where that goes. We're talking about full-on industries that need to be retrofitted. And if they're still just talking about it and not actually doing anything to prepare for that thing, it's just, I don't, how far are we out? Let's see here. SpongeBob. Nope, don't care. So now we're just kind of in the ads, looks like. We'll click on this to see where this takes us. Is this just the same thing here? We want UK to increase ties with Ireland. Okay. He wants the UK and Ireland to increase cooperation on growth, climate, and global issues. Well, you should have a relationship with Ireland. I mean, it's your neighbor. More about politics. Boris sure is in the news a lot today. More politics. UK should hold vote on ECHR membership. I wouldn't. I'd take this with a grain of salt. U.S. hails Charcas. See this right here. This statement tells you all you need to know about this statement. U.S. hails deal as win for diplomacy. Then you read this statement: the agreement will secure the future of our joint military phase. This is a real important base here on Diego Garcia. I mean, it's out in the middle of the ocean, so far from everywhere else, where there's some hanky-panky going on there, at least on the Americans' hands side. I don't know if it's split. I don't know, but I can't speak for the UK's involvement, but definitely on the U.S. involvement. There's some hanky-panky going on in that military base. No one really knows. It's very secretive, and this is the reason why they say this. You know, Bugging device found in my bathroom after Netanyahu visit, Johnson claims. Is Boris Johnson again? Bugging device found in Boris Johnson's bathroom after a visit. I don't mean to laugh, but the security team made a discovery when they did a sweep of the toilets after the Prime Minister had used them. My goodness. Boris is another Boris. I thought he was done with politics. I really did. Oh, okay. Well, this is going to change my... Either there's no other news going on, or these are just the two big... these look like American stories here on the right. It's voices, culture. Okay, I like the headline, the topic here. I'm not going to God, they're still talking about the Olympics? Come on. Is this an old edition here? Is this something that happened a while ago, or is this current? Really premium. We don't have the premium. There's more other sites that are associated with them. Let's look at culture, shall we? Rest in peace. She was amazing. Amazing. Amazing actress. So really sad to see her pass away, for sure. God, he even made it over here in culture. I am so over Boris Johnson right now. Different man would make a great dope bill with the substance. Not gonna. They're talking about movies. Probably Philip Schofield's TV comeback, Castaway, is one of the weirdest yet. Now, Philip Schofield, that name sounds familiar to me. He did one of those morning shows, yes? I think I also caught that he maybe had an affair or admitted to having an affair. Something like that. Nasty business. Chris Martin, that's Coldplay's guy. Metaphors go very bad. Okay. Apparently not a good album. And we're just talking about celebrities. And I tend to not care about celebrities and their business. So that's what the culture side is. So let's jump over to sport, shall we? See what's happening. Stuck in purgatory. They're not doing so good, huh? They're like the Yankees. We call the Yankees are like the Man United of baseball. Are they still owned by an American, or did he get forced to sell? I don't know. I know there are a couple American owners in the Premier League. They own football teams over here as well. American football. NFL teams. Speaking of which, this Sunday, I'll be getting up. I'll already be up, but we have the first of the London Series NFL games. Let me know if any of you go. Who knows if any of you will, but if you do, I would love to hear about your experience. I think that would be awesome to go to Tottenham and to see, or Wembley, to see a game. This Sunday in Tottenham, you have the Minnesota Vikings against the New York Jets, who are led by Aaron Rodgers. Jets are, I think, 2-2. The Vikings, surprisingly, are 4-0. Normally, you get teams that stink, but this is actually a really good matchup, which is exciting because if you want football to grow, you got to send the better teams there. They used to. They used to always send the cruddy teams, and the football was always terrible. And then they started sending one good team and one cruddy team. And then now they actually send two good teams, and they make the schedules, far out from the season. So they probably thought Minnesota was going to be terrible. Is probably how this is. But they have had a resurgence, and they're 4-0, and they have some really good players. And it's going to be a fun game to watch. That is this Sunday. It'd be Sunday, 6:30 my time. So do the math. 8 hours later, that's when it is your time. But yeah, my son, as you know, big Arsenal fan, so he keeps me updated on Arsenal and what and the going ons there. A lot of you who are new, I got my start on the YouTube during the pandemic, learning rugby. So that's how I met a lot of you initially, and so I still keep an eye out. I haven't abandoned my rugby passion. Maybe I learned how to play. I learned the game. I can watch the game and understand what's going on, and so I kind of bowed out. Plus, a lot of you said, "Hey, you should check out this comedian, Dave Allen or Al Murray, whoever it was, Mickey Flanagan," and then it just started to go from there. So yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Also, I forgot to mention, there's an interview I did with Arius the Nation. By the time you see this, you may have already seen it, but it premieres today. And he's doing it really cool because he does it as a premiere, so you can have live chats as the video's going. So that's pretty cool. So more about soccer, tennis. So yeah, it's basic news about sports. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and kind of wrap this up. Initial thoughts. I loved it. Independent. I'm talking about the Independent here. The initial thoughts is I loved it. Oh, here we go. We finally have a different story. I was going to give my wrap up because I was thinking it was just all about Boris Johnson. I must have not been on the homepage. Iran vows to carry on fighting. It's like that has got to be the worst job. The head of Hezbollah. It seems like every time they get somebody in there, they get missiled. There's always a vacancy at in that organization. It seems like, yeah, this is not good. It's looking crazy. I'll leave it at that. Okay, so this is more what I was expecting. Why didn't I get there? I thought I was there. Interesting. So, yes, this is more what I was thinking. Little highlights from everything. Is this a big deal here? They're putting a lot on this. I know he's in politics now. Worked for the government, or currently works for the government. I don't know. This is a current headline. Maybe I wouldn't. Yeah, Maggie Smith. We talked about her. This is going to change what I was going to say. Totally. Okay. Yeah. We've got a big deal here in the States. As you know, we had a hurricane come through and it has decimated the state of North Carolina, Georgia, little parts of Florida, but North Carolina, I think, is probably the worst. They've lost 100, I think, is what the death toll is, and it's just tragic. The flooding has been awful, and the government came out and said they have no more money for them. Look it up. They said no. FEMA, which is the emergency, said there's no more money after FEMA had spent over $1 billion on migrants, putting them in hotels, so on and so forth. And no matter how you feel about that, that's a separate story. The fact that they actually came on the news and says we're not going to have money, we have no more money to give to help these people, and then they're telling people, like civilians who have organized and other organizations donating helicopters to bring in supplies and so on and so forth. They've blocked them from helping, and no one is doing anything. It is sad. It's just our government has failed the people of North Carolina and Georgia and the parts in between. that were just tragically flooded. It's hard to even talk about without getting so angered. And I don't care what side of the aisle you fall on. This is just inexcusable. I mean, it's just inexcusable, and you just see it time and time again. It's awful. Both sides do it. It's just like, why can't we take care of our own people? Especially in this sort of instance. Should be all hands on deck, but it just, oh no, the guy, Mayorkas, we have no money for it. That's what he says. Just, it's tragic. Anyway, I'm rambling. We've been on here long enough. As for a news site, I'm sorry, I'm sidetracked here. Oh boy. Rebels claim to have blown up a British oil tanker. Man. Okay. Yeah. It's frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating. She was amazing. She was. Yeah. So you do have some pretty big, this is a world, of course, everybody's talking about that, but the whole thing with the Falkland Islands, I'm anxious to read what you all have to say about that and give me a little more context. This thing is very Boris Johnson heavy today. But as a website, I think this is the one I should have started with. I don't know why I wasn't here. They're big on ads, which nobody likes, right? But as a presentation, I like it. It's pretty easy to read. Plus, they have all relating kind of things, which is nice. Everything, of course, is an exclusive. That's kind of ridiculous, but not everything can be an exclusive. But it's very easy, of course, with pictures. I like books with pictures. That it's easy to kind of follow. And I mean, oh God, I'm still reading it. I'll be reading more of it as I go. But this Falkland story is the one that really caught my eye. I did not know anything about that, and of course, it all ties back to Diego Garcia and now Argentina is trying to piggyback off of that. It's like, dude, no, this doesn't involve you. There's nothing to do. I'm assuming the Falklands are not going anywhere, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of what you have to say. But as a whole, I think I like the Independent. I don't know where they fall on the spectrum, right? Are they left, right, middle, whatever? I don't care about that. I like the presentation. I could do with less ads, less Boris Johnson. But all in all, I imagine if I come back a week later, it'll be different. We'll be with less Boris Johnson. But I like the presentation of it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give the Independent a thumbs up on appearance and style. Again, do not know where they fall, but as of right now, that is not important to me. So I'm interested to hear what you all have to say. Please let me know, comment, send me an email. That's also below. I hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. Thanks so much for coming and exploring the Independent with me. This is always fun doing this series of just seeing stuff that, to kind of get a comparison of how it is with our news. And it's pretty similar. It's all similar, but it's just interesting. And also seeing some news that I haven't seen over here. So it's neat. All right, everyone. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark